Okay, I was about to start recording, but I decided to put some product in my hair. Make me look all fancy. Yeah, so it looks like I missed Proverbs 8. So let's do some Proverbs 8. Doesn't wisdom call out? Doesn't understanding make her voice heard? So Solomon understands that wisdom is the mathematics behind the architecture of the universe. And so when we tune into wisdom, we're tuning into how the universe works. And so everything we do is made better for all things. And when we turn away from wisdom, everything becomes worse. And it's kind of that supernatural phenomenon. The same way we have wisdom or foolishness, or wisdom and wickedness, we have life and spiritual death. The same way you'd want to eat from the tree of life, from the Garden of Eden, and stay away from the tree of death, is the same way we want to stay with wisdom. It's the same way we want to seek out God's love instead of just our own inebriated desire. Okay. Doesn't wisdom call out? Doesn't understanding make her voice heard? So the more we work to understand wisdom, the more we get. And this is the same way with our relationship with God. The more we try to know God, the more he can reveal, because God is infinitely perfect. There's always more to him. At the heights, overlooking the road, at the crossroads, she takes her stand. At the heights, overlooking the road, at the crossroads, she takes her stand. Besides the gates leading into the city, at the main entrance, she cries out. So at the gates is where like the leaders stay. At the crossroads, it seems like you're paying attention to what's happening in civilization. And remember, the point of the Bible is to grab as much richness as we can from it. A friend's literature teacher once said, it's not about what the author put in the books, it's about what we can get out of it. And the Bible even says that, like it says, when you're traveling with your children, discuss the philosophy of the Bible. When you're just sitting at home, discuss the philosophy of the Bible. And so this is what we're doing. We're trying to grab as much richness as we can so we can motivate our legacy, right? Our children's children. We can have richness for them going all the way down. We can have richness in our lives. We can make our relationship works. And you should see how this works with me. A lot of my friends are in awe because, fights will break out. People will be screaming and I'll stay calm. And I'll navigate kind of the communicative landscape with grace, not stepping on any mines. I have an easy time defusing situations. I have an easy time. Well, I shouldn't say an easy time. Because of the Bible, I'm educated and experienced on how to defuse situations that really bother other people. She cries out, "People, I call out to you. My cry is to the children of Adam, so to the entire human race. Learn to be shrewd, you who are inexperienced. Develop common sense, you who are foolish." So, if you're new, don't just go around believing what anyone says. You want to be smart. You want to watch out. And then develop common sense, you who are foolish. So even the people that are running around doing what they want, wisdom still cares about them. And when I was in college, in my 30s, the same thing happened. There was quite a few classmates that were foolish, and because I was able to talk from a fatherly perspective and talk with wisdom, I was able to calm them down. One girl, she was just real hothead, always screaming, always mad. And finally, I called her over, and I was like, "Hey, come here." And she's like, "What? Are you gonna tell me I'm wrong? Are you gonna tell me I'm stupid? Are you gonna mansplain me?" And I said, No. Look. You care a lot, and that's great. I'm not here to tell you not to care. You're going to do a lot of great things in your life, but if you learn to communicate, if you learn to see what motivates people and then to argue against that, if you discuss, you'll do 1,000 great things in your life. Right now, you're just kind of shouting all the time. You're going to do 4 great things. There are going to be 4 great things. But if you learn to socialize and communicate, you'll do 1,000. That is my only advice. And she was like, "Oh." And she calmed down. And I had another friend who was, she wasn't committing self-harm, but she could kind of hear self-harm's voice. And I went up to her one time and I said, you're gonna be okay. Like, life's really hard and it sucks sometimes, but eventually you'll move out, you'll get away from your parents, and life will be great. Just suck it up for a minute. And she's like, "Wow, thanks." And that was really cool. One time, this is a really good story. I haven't told anyone this. One time, I was in class and I was just having a wretched day, and I said, "God, could somebody just come up and scratch my back?" And that same girl just came up and like scratched my back. I didn't say anything to her. I just said it to God. And someone's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I didn't say this. The girl next to me said that, and she said, "Oh, he just looked like he needed his back scratched." And I was like, "Wow, that was really cool." Yeah, it was a good experience. I kind of calmed everyone down with wisdom, and just like a gentle fatherly kind of method, because a father will kind of push what's good and loving, to where like some of the classmates, the girls would actually argue on who got to sit next to me. And you can pray for that too. You can pray that you have just an aura of grace that attracts people, an aura of grace that kind of feeds people emotionally, that you can become the sort of person who feeds people emotionally and then helps them degress away from kind of the animosity of their spirit. Listen, for I speak of noble things, and what my lips say is right. Okay, so wisdom is of the highest of nobility. Okay, so that's cool. So we even have we're kind of looking at it from like a poetic, symbolic, literary point of view now. For my mouth tells the truth, and wickedness is detestable to my lips. So now wisdom is declaring that she has nothing to do with wickedness, and her words are absolute. So she cares about her words, she has trained her words, she knows what is true, and she works for what is true. All the words from my mouth are righteousness. And back to, so chapter 10 was righteousness, but we're seeing the seeds of righteousness here. None of them are deceptive or perverse. So wisdom is proclaiming her beauty and how she's flawless in many ways. All of them are clear to the perceptive and right to those who discover knowledge. So the people who care about the things that are important to life will also care about wisdom, because wisdom is kind of like at the intersection of things that are intellectual and great. Accept my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. So now wisdom is talking about how valuable she is, right? And the reason it's saying wisdom is a girl is it's trying to be poetic. It's trying to tell you that this poetry is valuable in the same way God used poetry and his word crafting and his perfection and his beauty to make reality. And wisdom is kind of the mathematics behind how God threaded the universe. For wisdom is better than jewels, and nothing desirable can equal it, because wisdom pays out in all things. I, wisdom, share a home with shrewdness. Haven't I not done this one before? Whatever, we'll do it again. I, wisdom, share a home with shrewdness, and have knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. A lot of people forget that. I hate arrogant pride, evil conduct, and perverse speech. So wisdom stands apart from all this nonsense. Wisdom is the light of civilization. I possess good advice and sound wisdom, right? So what wisdom does pays out and pays forward and works well. I have understanding and strength. It is by me that kings reign and rulers enact just law. By me, princes lead, as do nobles and all righteous judges. So we're seeing how wisdom builds society and builds civilization. You can tell that I kind of care about stuff like civilization because my country, the United States of America, is at a spot where it's become very rich. And whenever an empire becomes very rich, people start kind of socially cannibalizing themselves and going crazy. And I want to stop that from happening. I love my country. I love those who love me, and those who search for me and find me. I love those who love me. I wonder if that's agape. I'm going to check that out real quick. Proverbs 8:17. Okay, so that version of love is Hebrew, and it suggests affection. Where was I? I love those who love me. I have affection for... So wisdom reciprocates love. I love those who love me, and those who search for me and find me. So the great people of the universe seek out wisdom and work by wisdom. With me are riches and honor, lasting wealth and righteousness. So working with wisdom and God is how we provide ourselves and our future children and generations riches. Of all types. So we have righteousness, which is like a richness of character. When people see you, they go, "Oh, that's Josh. He's a righteous dude. He's someone you can trust. He's someone who wouldn't betray you." Lasting wealth, riches and honor. So your home, people will know that your family's good. Like honor, that can grow into honor of your household. I walk in the ways of righteousness along the paths of justice, giving wealth as an inheritance to those who love me and filling their treasuries. So it's not even just family, it's anybody who aspires to have this godly quality. We need more justice in America, right? We need more justice in all the countries right now. But this is what happens when we elect people who don't honor God, who don't worship God. This is why in the Bible it says you need to elect people that are blameless, right? People who didn't come from a life of crime. We need to promote people who, are righteous like God, because they're going to continue to be righteous like God, and then who can run their families, because if you can't organize your home life, you can't organize society's life. The Lord acquired me at the beginning of his creation, before his works of long ago. I was formed before ancient times, from the beginning, before earth began, I was born, when there were no watery depths and no springs filled with water. So Wisdom is saying that she was created before God even created time. God created this measurement, this data, this way of considering and balancing and working through the universe that is above all else, that must be considered to do greatness. And why do I care so much? Because I want you to have riches and love and honor, and the future generations, especially when I'm no longer here, to do great things. Before the mountains were established, prior to the hills, I was given birth. Before he made the lands, the fields, or the first soil on earth, I was there when he established the heavens, when he laid out the horizon on the surface of the ocean, when he placed the skies above, when the fountains of the ocean gushed out, when he set a limit for the sea, so the waters would not violate his command. So that was like in the beginning when he built the universe. When he laid out the foundations of the earth, I was a skilled craftsman beside him. I was his delight every day, always rejoicing before him. Now what's interesting is, okay, give me a second because this is actually really interesting. Okay, so Psalms 139 verse 13. For it was you who created my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I have been remarkably and wondrously made. So, the word for wisdom in Hebrew is hakmah, which has to do with the skill of a master craftsman. So now wisdom kind of means like, as we balance things and determine that which is of quality, and both kind of ring towards the same direction, albeit from a little bit of a different angle. But I like that. I like how the Bible reinforces itself by using the same stories in multiple parts. So for example, the term soul comes from the word breath because God breathed life into Adam. And then how did God make the universe? He spoke. What is Jesus? The word of God made flesh. What does God command us to do? He doesn't say obey. He says keep my commandments or keep his words. And then the sword of the Spirit is the word of God. So we see that even though the Bible was written over hundreds of years. So then we go back to Proverbs 8:30. I was a skilled craftsman beside him. I was his delight every day, always rejoicing before him. I was rejoicing in his inhabited world, delighting in the children of Adam. And now, sons, listen to me. Those who keep my ways are happy. Listen to instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Anyone who listens to me is happy, watching at my doors every day, waiting by the posts of my doorway. For the one who finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But the one who misses me harms himself. All who hate me love death. So we can even see this in the beginning. If Eve had been wise, instead of listening to the snake who was lying, she could have turned to her husband who was right there and listened to him. God says, why didn't you turn to your husband? He was right there. And then, Adam says, and I took the fruit. Adam didn't say anything. He could have stopped her, but he wasn't wise. He didn't speak up because he didn't want to lose his precious wife, which he just got. Life is tricky. Life is tricky, so you have to always have wisdom. You should always have wise friends near you. I do that. When I'm having really bad days, I'll call my friend. I'll say, hey, Jeff, I can't see my way out of this. Help me out. What should I do? And he said, oh, you should do this. You should do that. This would be good. That would be good. I'm like, okay, good. I needed a new way of thinking. Or when I was going to go to college, I went and had lunch with my friend. I said, I don't know what to do. I can see like 13 paths. I don't know which one. And he slowly eliminated each one. I thought, okay. Oh, should I do the fantasy voice? I do love the fantasy voice. Do I feel silly? Yes. Do I seem silly? Probably. Is it worth it? I think so. Oh, my voice is kind of raspy. I was exceptionally sick this morning. I had to call off work. Doesn't wisdom call out? Doesn't understanding make her voice heard? At the heights overlooking the road, at the crossroads she takes her stand. Beside the gates leading into the city, at the main entrance she cries out. People, I call out to you, my cry is to the children of Adam. Learn to be shrewd, you who are inexperienced. Develop common sense, you who are foolish. Listen, for I speak of noble things, and what my lips say is right. For my mouth tells the truth, and wickedness is detestable to my lips. All the words from my mouth are righteous, all of them. None of them are deceptive or perverse. All of them are clear to the perceptive and right to those who discover knowledge. Accept my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is better than jewels, and nothing desirable can equal it. I, wisdom, share a home with shrewdness. I wonder if I could do a girl's voice. Nah, I'll try later. And have knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate arrogant pride, evil conduct, and perverse speech. I possess good advice and sound wisdom. I have understanding and strength. It is by me that kings reign and rulers enact just law. By me princes lead, as do nobles and all righteous judges. I love those who love me, and those who search for me find me. With me are riches and honor, lasting wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than solid gold, and my harvest than pure silver. I walk in the ways of righteousness, along the paths of justice, giving wealth as an inheritance to those who love me and filling their treasuries. The Lord acquired me at the beginning of his creation, before his works long ago. I was formed before ancient times. From the beginning, before the earth began. I swear I've done this thing before. Did I just lose the video? I was born when there was no watery depths and no springs filled with water. Before the mountains were established, prior to the hills, I was given birth. Before he made the land, the fields, or the first oil on earth. I was there when he established the heavens, when he laid out the horizon on the surface of the ocean. When he placed the skies above, when the fountains of the ocean gushed out, when he set a limit for the sea, so that the waters would not violate his command. When he laid out the foundations of the earth, I was a skilled craftsman besides him. I was his delight every day, always rejoicing before him. I was rejoicing in his inhabited world, delighting in the children of Adam. And now, sons, listen to me. Those who keep my ways are happy. Listen to instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Anyone who listens to me is happy. watching at my doors every day, waiting by the posts of my doorway, for the one who finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But the one who misses me harms himself, and all who hate me love death. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to post this now.